Hi, everyone. Thank you for that intro, Charlie. I'm so excited to be back at DBS and so close to home. I live about an hour and a half outside of the city, so happy to welcome you all to Chicago. So as Charlie said, I'm going to tell you guys about my $1 million months and my portfolio and how we got there. But first, since personalization seems to be the buzzword today, I thought I'd tell you some personal things about myself. I started my career in hospitality as a bartender, worked my way into sales and marketing. I once dressed up as a moose for a video shoot. Shout out Marcus, that was you guys. And then this is the hill that I will die on. Deep dish pizza is not true Chicago pizza unless it's Pequod's. Talk to me about that later. So let's dive into the data. That's what you all want to know, right? How we got to these $1 million months. So I thought I'd give you guys just a little visual breakdown of the properties that experienced this success. So this slide right here is one property that had 3 $1 million months in a row through website revenue. I wanted to show you guys all of these months next to each other because I think it tells a really interesting story. So this property is in a major metro. And when you look at these little donut charts or pie graphs or whatever, you can see our revenue contribution kind of feels the same month over month, but there's a few sticky points in each month that I think helped push us over that edge and get to that $1 million in website revenue. So in January, this tiny little sliver of email marketing, I can't even read it on the slides down here, 1.2%, I think it says, for email marketing. It looks like a tiny, tiny sliver, but that was one email that was responsible for $96,000 in revenue, just from that one email campaign. It was over 250 room nights at that property. So this was an annual sale that we did. It was a really great offer, but I think not only the annual sale through the email campaign, but the annual sale in all of our other channels really pushed us over that edge. In February, things evened out a little bit. Didn't have any big sales, nothing really happening in February. However, we really started to dive into our paid social, started changing out our ad creative a lot more frequently, had a couple different offers running, and paid social increased 50% in conversions in that month. And then in March, you notice this little jump in referral traffic. This was the month where we launched our new brand. We didn't change our name, we just had a little bit of a facelift, new logo, new website, new branding, a huge PR push in March, and I credit that to a lot of that referral traffic, doing that PR and social push, really working with our partners, helping us get to that next $1 million month. So this is another property. This property is in a seasonal destination. Summer is definitely peak months for this one. So not surprising to see the $1 million months in May and June. However, looking at these pie graphs, again, I think tells a really, really unique story. Our organic efforts, I really contribute to taking a harder look at our PR and social and brand awareness strategy. This property was really reactive in 2022, didn't really have a solid social plan. I think sporadic is probably the best word I could use for that strategy. So in 2023, we really hunkered down, we hired an agency, we got the right partners in line, and really saw revenue take off for them. So as I was looking at this, I kind of felt like everyone's going to be looking at me like, well, cool, Michelle, like you had 2 properties in a major metro, one at a destination, of course you got to $1 million revenues. My property is in a small location, I'm never going to see that. I have properties in small locations too that don't see $1 million months. Some of them don't even see $1 million in the year. So I wanted to find some other ways that I could show that $1 million success. So this one is a small boutique property, only 69 rooms. They saw $1 million in Q1 this year. This is the same destination as the last hotel that we were just talking about. So different property altogether, but this one I thought was super unique because all of our paid efforts here are very, very similar, right? They're similar chunks of the pie. Meta search, paid search, retargeting, email, it's all very, very close in line. So this one is telling me the story that not one channel is important for this hotel, but all of our channels. This next property also saw $1 million quarter. This one is a little bit more of a unique story. This one transitioned from a brand at the end of 2022 to fully independent. So you can see our organic is super low. We don't have that brand awareness yet. Paid search and meta search are really the kings at this property. We saw that. We kept investing in it. Every month we raised our budget, and we raised our budget again. We worked with Triptease, shout out Katie. We were pulling all the triggers. We were adjusting our bid strategy. We were adjusting ad frequency. Really, I was probably talking to Katie on like a daily basis, trying to figure out the secret sauce for this property. And I think it really worked out because we did see that $1 million quarter. Some other $1 million successes that I wanted to talk about. These are portfolio-wide. So one of the tactics we took this year in trying to be more proactive instead of reactive was planning out some sales. Everyone's done a flash sale. Everyone's done a 24-hour sale. Everyone's done a Labor Day sale. So we wanted to piggyback on Expedia and the OTAs and some of the annual sales that they do. So we decided to do 3 sales. We planned out 3 sales for the year. One of them, Cyber Sale, Black Friday, obviously. Annual sale in January, February, and then summer sale in May and June. We planned these out with the properties. We let properties decide what their offer was going to be, whether it was a straight discount, value add, length of stay offer, really got flexible with it. And it really paid off. This annual sale, we actually beat Expedia to the punch, so we launched before they launched theirs by some very good digging by our revenue team and asking the right questions. But we pushed this out through email marketing, through paid search, through like any channel that we had available, we pushed out this sale. So $1.8 million in revenue. Excuse me. And we layered in bookings in every month of 2023 for every hotel in our portfolio. So super excited to see how well this one did. Repeated the success with our summer sale, $1.3 million across the portfolio, layering in bookings April through September to really help give the properties a good head start into those summer months. So this is my last data slide, and then we'll get into the details of what we did. But this slide, I think, was the most interesting, and I hope you guys find it really interesting too. I did this on purpose, putting meta search, retargeting, paid search, and email, kind of our biggest paid tactics, all in one slide. So the colors coordinate to properties. So the orange line is the hotel that we talked about with the 3 $1 million months. And white is the hotel with the $2 million months. Pink had the $1 million quarter. And then yellow had a $1 million quarter. What I think is so interesting here is it's clearly not one size fits all. It's not even one size fits all for one property month to month. Like, look at these crazy spikes and dips. It's insane to me when I look at it like this. But you can my favorite is the email marketing with the orange line. You can see exactly where we did our big sales. So January, obviously huge spike. March with our relaunch, we did a sale. May, we did that summer sale. So you can see how engaged our email audience actually is at this property. So how does this apply to me? If you're not convinced that you can see $1 million or $2 million or whatever your target is months at your properties, I'm going to give you a few of the things that I did to help me get here. First of all, collaboration and planning. I wouldn't be up here talking to you guys if it wasn't for the team that I get to work with. all the revenue managers on property, GMs, sales managers, food and beverage, everybody. We meet on a regular basis, not only in revenue meetings, we have regular marketing meetings and different check-ins that we're constantly in communication with each other. But one of the things I did at the beginning of this year was laid out a roadmap. I'm sure everyone's done their version of a marketing plan or some sort of roadmap. This is what worked best for me. I worked with the revenue team to layer in forecasted occupancy at the beginning of the year, so that's the red, yellow, green tabs that you saw. And then we worked with the property teams to layer in different sales, different packages. We worked with our PR agency. You can see towards the bottom, they layered in all of their pitching strategies, what they were going to be pushing when. We have a separate tab that is our social strategy calendar. We have another tab with email strategy. So it's quite a big document. We try to review this at least once a month on our revenue calls, make adjustments. This is going to change, it should change, but it was really great for our team to have a visual of what we were going to do for the year and how we were going to attack it. So I put a little QR code. I gave you guys my template. If you want to download it, I'll pop this up at the end. I'm sure the team will send it out. But it's honestly a simple Excel doc. I tried like 5 different versions, and this is just what worked best for us and our team, so I thought I would share it with you guys today. Thank you. Getting into the how and how I did this. So I wanted to give you guys an example of how we leveraged paid search. Really, for me, paid search success was finding the right partner. So this is an example of a boutique hotel in St. Louis. They did not have $1 million a month success, but I thought that they were a great example of really how to optimize paid search tactics. So this property in 2021, their search was just on a set it and forget it. It was converting at I think a 3-to-1 return, so seeing a little bit of traffic but not really succeeding. So in 2022, we tried a couple different agencies actually. One was not hospitality centric. They had a lot of e-com experience, a lot of retail experience. We were like, why not? Let's give it a try. Clearly did not work. That is the white, I guess that's white color, graph on there. Still converting. I think the best we saw was like a 4-to-1 return. So then in 2023, we switched to our current partner. This is not a sponsored ad. That partner is Triptease. But we have seen incredible growth. That's the green, all of the spikes. You can see we're still trying to figure it out, right? We have a dip in May. That's actually when we added in ancillary paid search. So focusing on our F&B options, meetings and weddings as well. So that bit of a dip in ROI. But now we're averaging a 10-to-1 return on rooms, paid search, and couldn't be happier, honestly. So I think the right partner makes a huge difference. We're doing constant check-ins, we have our monthly meetings, we get our weekly reports, and it's really, really paying off. The next tactic I wanted to share with you guys are some of our strategies around paid social. So this hotel, Hotel Washington in DC, they have a great organic social media following. We do some great things with paid. In 2022, we saw an average return of 15-to-1. I looked at that and I was like, there's nowhere to grow from here. This is a great return. As long as I can keep this running, I'm gonna be happy. So we just took the approach of making sure our ad content was always fresh. So if we have a new offer on the shelf, whether it's a length of stay, whether it was I think we did breakfast for $5. We did a rebranding offer when we launched our new logo and everything, which percentage off. The cyber sale, the annual sale, all of it, brand awareness ad, always having something out there and constantly rotating. We actually did grow and are seeing an average of 20-to-1 return on our ad spend and paid social. I think this is the anomaly out of all of my hotels in my portfolio. Some of my hotels don't see a single booking from paid social, but somehow Hotel Washington has this secret sauce, and they are seeing incredible, incredible returns from their paid. The next strategy I wanted to point out was our email marketing. I shared with you guys that annual sale that did so great for the Hotel Washington. And as I was digging into stats, we use Revenate for our partner, I noticed a couple of things. That simple design tweaks in some of our email templates really made a huge difference. So as I mentioned, we redesigned the templates for Hotel Washington with the rebrand. And then the Wyoming Inn in Jackson Hole, I'm going to show you guys my next slide because it's hilarious. Like, I'm almost embarrassed to show you this. This is what our email templates looked like before. Like, look at the Wyoming Inn. It's like, please don't judge me. I did not build this. But this is what it looked like before. A simple redesign, and we're averaging $11,000 a month on our email campaigns, just for a little 69-room inn. I mean, it's so bad. And then Hotel Washington, just with the rebrand, I think, how do I go backwards here? There we go. Just with the rebrand, we had our rebrand offer with $62,000 in revenue just from that one email. So just little design tweaks. It doesn't have to be a full rebrand like the Hotel Washington. It can just be better looking like the Wyoming Inn. All right, and then I wanted to dive into organic strategy a little bit with our social and PR. In our hotel in St. Louis, our organic social is consistently a top 3 channel for traffic acquisition. 16% of new users to our site are from social. Some of our months are even as high as 20 to 22%. So having a solid social strategy was super important to me because that's one of my largest channels driving into my website. So we hired a local agency. They're almost like an extension of the team. I think they're at the hotel definitely more than I am, but they're at the hotel probably more than some of the people that work there. They really are part of the team at this point. Another example was our hotel in Tampa. Like I said, this one was a rebrand. We lost our flag, and along with that flag went all of my social channels. So I had to start from 0 with a new Instagram, new Facebook account. And the jury is still out if this is correlation or causation, but as my organic channels grew and as those audiences grew, so did the bookings from my paid social. So in Q1, we were averaging about 5 bookings a month from paid, and in Q2, we were averaging about 28 bookings a month from paid. So again, I think it's too early to tell if one has affected the other, but I'm going to keep growing and keep trying this strategy. And one of the best ways that we grew was doing these partnerships. I did this screenshot of this summertime giveaway. We partner with a lot of area attractions, everyone from a museum to like the water taxi, the property's right on the river. And we do a ton of giveaways, so we're tagging those people in social, they're tagging us, people are sharing. It's really been a great strategy for growing our audience. The last thing I wanted to talk about, which ironically is the smallest part of my presentation, but like something I have the most passion about, is PR. So this one example is from one of our Jackson Hole properties. We were included in some roundup articles on travel and leisure. I think it was about 3 articles over the past year. And actually, when I was digging into this data, I saw that those 3 articles actually referred just over $3,000 in revenue. So when people say that there's no value to PR, I like to pull this one out of my back pocket and be like, actually, a booking came from that roundup article. And it wasn't even only about us. There was 10 other resorts included in that article. So kind of like Tina and Julio were just talking about, you can drive all of the traffic you want, but your website has to be set up for conversion. Talking about Hotel Washington a lot, but with their rebrand, we were tracking this, and before we rebranded, before we did a full custom site, we were seeing an average 1.6% conversion rate. With the rebrand, with working with our partners and setting up this optimized site, we now see a 2.5% conversion rate. So I mean, I think that speaks for itself. The Wyoming Inn, they're on deck for a new website next year, but I wanted to share like this beautiful Hotel Washington site that converts at 2.5% versus Wyoming Inn that hasn't been touched in I don't even know how many years, at a 1.2% conversion rate. So it really, really does make a difference when your website is built to convert. The last little bit I wanted to talk about was the convert message product that we use with Triptease. These numbers are portfolio wide. Just another little success nugget. We saw 1.4 million in revenue from those pop-up messages. We've been really strategic about these. Katie probably gets sick of me always asking her to like help me build a new message, but we're constantly changing these out, whether it's an offer, whether it's about our rooftop during season. We're constantly editing these. And seeing success from it. We see a 3.4% conversion rate from these. And again, I wanted to call out our small boutique property in St. Louis because they are the ones that probably aren't even going to see $1 million year in website revenue. However, their pop-up messages convert the highest. They're averaging a 5% conversion rate, and some of their sales, like annual sale, had an 8% conversion rate. They're blowing all of my other hotels. They're blowing the $3 million a month Hotel Washington out of the water with their conversion. So that makes me a true believer in helping the user through that journey and through that booking journey. So recap of my 5 tactics that helped get me to the $1 million month: collaboration, paid media, email marketing, organic social and PR, and our website. Definitely would not have achieved these $1 million months without each and every one of these tactics.
How long did it take you from when you started to change your message until you actually hit your $1 million? Like, did you do it in a month? Did you do it in 2 months? Like on one ad, were you able to do it? Or how many different ads and things were you doing to get to that $1 million? Like, did it take like your first couple tries that you hit, $250,000 and then it went up and up? Or did you do it right away with everything?
We didn't hit $1 million month success until this year, until 2023. I think I was on the team about 9 months before we saw our first $1 million success. So not to say that there weren't other small successes in other places, but I would say probably 6 to 9 months before we started really seeing those large numbers. But yeah, constant changing of ads and trying to be a little bit more proactive versus reactive. Yeah.